Yo, dudes, what's going on with y'all? This week I decided to pick up Legends and Lattes, and I picked it up because it sucks, as I have been reliably informed. Apparently, it's an interesting premise that goes absolutely nowhere, and after the success of Dungeon Crawler Carl, I wanted to be good and smug about something.
Don't do something stupid now. Don't do something we can't repair.
So, let's do this. This book is about a half-orc named Viv who retires from adventuring to build a coffee bar. An orc lady. Oh no, I'm getting Wild Waste flashbacks. And she's doing the typical adventuring thing and wants to retire to open up a coffee shop because adventuring orcs don't live very long. Okay, I guess. I would argue that building a life offers a safer, steadier stream of income, except that we already see that Viv doesn't want for money. In fact, it would appear that adventuring is comically well-paying, so I don't know why retiring has to include running a shop at all. She literally pays off costs like it doesn't matter, and I don't know if I'm supposed to care. You may say that seems harsh and nitpicky.
Is it harsh if it's the truth?
Viv's final mission was to kill something that had an important stone that brings you treasure. Sure.
By all means, continue.
She buys a rundown livery from a man who doesn't give two shits about the property, so I don't know why he had it, except she buys it explaining that she's going to turn it into a coffee bar, because things don't have to stay the way they are. Oh no, I smell the whiff of a weak-ass theme approaching.
It's so deep.
I understand what the author wanted. Yes, the idea of a half-orc retiring to run a coffee shop is very cute and all, but you still have to give me a reason, or at least give me a reason to care. You don't, and therefore I don't. There's some throwaway explanation about bars she found in a gnomish town.
Yeah. What's your lore? What's your
Well, I have a couple of races that I...
Cleverly, the complete lack of any world building or explanation means I can't prove this is stupid. It just sounds really stupid. We've reached a singularity. The shitty writing is covering up for the shitty writing. Beyond this point, spoilers abound, so skip to me final thoughts if you want to avoid plot details. So, Viv hires a tiefling featured on the front, and I'm guessing is supposed to be a romantic interest, so the book can praise its diversity. Her name is Tagri. Then a hobgoblin comes up with a sign for the new shop, and he comes up with the name Legends and Lattes.
Hey, you get it? This is the title.
Only it fucking means nothing in this universe, so it's just stupid. You wanna know something weird? I'm actually happy right now. I am. Because this shit is so cliche that I'm actually in my happy place, pulling on each one of these loose threads and watching as each and every one of them completely fails. Thank you so much for giving me something that thus far doesn't have a single redeeming quality. The weird thing is that the author isn't completely unskilled. Like, clearly they put 2 seconds of thought into this, and the style isn't the worst. It's not amazing, but it's not horrible. You just don't do any work to make everything real.
Half a month has passed, and nothing's happened.
Okay, in all seriousness, stuff happens. It's basically just a day-to-day life book for a good while, which is not what I would want for my half-orc lady book. Granted, it's perhaps less directly disturbing than Wild Waste, but that's like saying Force Awakens is the most watchable of the sequel trilogy. It's just not a good metric to judge things by. So, there's a bit about Viv hiring a rat cook who doesn't like to talk, and then she gets a collection of calls from the mob for protection. Wink wink. Viv decides that she's not going to pay, and so she calls her old gang up to help beat up the mob, and we have to talk about this in depth.
This is where the fun begins.
The gang shows up, and instantly, despite there having been some tension before, that's all gone now, and everyone in the shop is so wonderful, and Viv is so amazing. Viv lays out the situation with the mob, and a gnome points out that Viv could rip them apart without a problem. So why doesn't she? And then Tangerine says that Viv can't do that because she might not be able to stop bullying people. 1, this is not a character weakness. Viv's shortcoming is that she's too strong, and she would, I guess it's implied she'd do selfish things for her own benefit, even though she is frequently and repeatedly unselfish. Like a Mare Ray Sue. 2, smaller note, what exactly gives Tanning the Sun the right to speak for Viv? Like, they've been working together for a hot minute, and judging from the cover, there's likely an upcoming romance aspect, but they do not know each other that well, and they've never discussed Viv's motivation or desires. Like, the most personal conversation was literally the night before when Tag You're It told Viv that she should buy a bed to treat herself. Fuck off with this. 3, why exactly would Viv not be able to stop? This is set up as if it's the Batman problem. I can't kill because I couldn't stop. But Viv could stop. She has. And it was implied to be quite easy for her. 4, I can't believe this even has to be said, but defending yourself, your business, and those you love is not nearly the same thing as terrorizing and attacking other people. And if this means to imply that it actually would be, go fuck yourself, book. Sorry, perhaps that's a bit unwarranted, but you all know what's happening in the country. I'm not going to rant political here. 5, so Viv isn't able to defend her business, but she's completely willing to front up and act as if she was. Don't make threats you aren't prepared to back up. That's just full-on stupid, and something I would really hope a seasoned adventurer would know better than to do.
You stop thinking now. You stop thinking. You stop thinking. No. Okay. Now we've reached a point of negotiation.
6. So Viv isn't willing to defend her business, but she's willing to call up her former friends, whom she left, and whom she has not thus far reached out to, because now she could use their help. Now, don't get me wrong, this is what this group does, fighting people that they want to, but this is literally using people you've left behind. This is grade A toxic behavior, but we're supposed to act as if this is some kind of character growth for Viv, and it isn't. I get this is not perhaps a huge moment, but small moments used carelessly create big problems and draw the reader right out, and I was barely even in the first place.
Half a month has passed, and nothing's happened.
Okay, in all fairness, the Mafia boss thing just ends whenever Viv agrees to give the leader baked goods as a form of monthly payment. So why was the monthly payment thing a big deal in the first place? Now an elf who served under her wants the magical stone thingy back along with all the gold that he took, so there's still a threat. Viv in trains, planes, and automobiles literally start sleeping together, and I have no clue why, it just happens, and all of this is slam my head into the desk boring.
You gonna come back?
Now, it is possible to make everyday life stories interesting. My favorite anime is Love is War, which repeatedly makes jokes out of nothing happening. But that story is a comedy, which slowly makes you love its characters over time, and so when they do make a move that might make them happy, you're rooting for them because you come to care. This is a character-driven novel with non-characters who I haven't even begun to understand, let alone care about. Like, literally, D&D campaigns have retired shopkeepers with better backstories than this. Victor from Critical Role has a better backstory than Viv at this point.
You're looking well.
Mostly. And he turns around and you can see now what you failed to notice when you first noticed is that where once there was 5, there is now 3 fingers.
Oh, yes. Oh, he has character progression.
So, Jelly Elf burns down the bar and gets the magical stone back, but it turns out the magical stone doesn't actually make you rich. It draws people like you to you, because the real treasure was the friends we made along the way.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
I know it sounds like I'm downplaying the book themes for laughs. Nope, that is literally the way the stone works, for fuck's sake. They build the bar, and happily ever after ensues. My personal score is 2.5 out of 10. It's not horrible, but it's just so incredibly dull in a way I wish it were terrible, because then if it were, I could be good and steamed up instead of just dully unimpressed. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bingo card. And what do you know, it turns out a book in which nothing happens means you don't even get to fill out the bingo card all that well. I really have nothing further to say on this. I can't recommend this to literally anyone. Anyhow, that's all for this time, so if you have something else you want me to review, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know. If you want to see what we get into next time, go ahead and subscribe. Until then, drink plenty of water, tell your parents that you love them, and stroke your mustache at night.